Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rusty Beauties garage, or Rusty Beauties channel, Rusty Beauties restorations, Rusty Beauties stories, whatever you want to call it. And today we're gonna work on the TR4, the 1962 TR4 again, that is mostly filmed on David's channel. So we have few videos on my channel about this car, but mostly it is filmed on David's channel. So if you want to see the progress of it, you can go and check him, Cheftush, I should say, because he's known as Cheftush more than as David. Did you know that his name was David? Anyway, so today we're gonna be working on the carpet, and in his video, you know how he says, so we're gonna do the carpet now, and then in the next 3 seconds it's like the carpet is done, so now we're gonna move on to the brakes or whatever.
Yeah,
well, so
magic of television.
so everything in between you should see on my channel. So we went yesterday and we bought carpet. He already explained that in his video, but I'm going to explain it here for you as well. We couldn't find black carpet and we settled with gray, but I think it's going to be a good color for the interior. I think it's going to be a little bit brighter at the bottom. Actually, I like when it is a little bit brighter. My Spitfire up there, it has red carpet. We bought also end of the row of vinyl, and it is a nice texture that we're gonna use for the binding around. And here on top of this car I have some patterns of the carpet. When I worked the other day on another TR6, I had to take the carpet apart. That was for wiring job and for transmission and stuff. So while it was out, I took the opportunity to take the patterns. So this is the transmission cover. It's two pieces that are joined together, but I don't have everything. I have the passenger floor, the driver floor, but I don't have everything. So for whatever we don't have pattern, we're gonna have to take it off the car, which shouldn't be too hard. That's this piece here over the transmission, the piece that goes on the rear deck and goes down, the inner seals. I've made that before when I used to work in the limousine shop, and we've done few TR6s. I think I stitched together like 6 or 7 sets of these carpets for TR6, and now this is a TR4. So the difference is actually TR4A and TR6 don't have any difference, right? The TR4 has a difference between TR4A and TR6, and the difference is here, the e-brake, the handbrake, whatever you want to call it. So for 4A and 6, the handbrake is there. For TR4, it's here. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna cut off these, and we're gonna put them inside the car and make them precise, because this is very rough. The carpet that I took out of that TR6 was pretty old and distorted already. So we're gonna make these nice and tight inside the floor pans here, and then we're gonna start cutting. And I'm not gonna show you the whole process, of course, but I want to show you how we do the binding on the sewing machine over there, which I bought, I don't know, 18 months ago, and I barely used. I used it a little bit, but not a lot. So now we set up a station here. We have a cutting table, and we're gonna start.
Looks like
sewing.
a German sewing machine.
It is.
Pfaff.
It's Pfaff, right?
Yeah, because we have a Pfaff Porsche dealership here, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
But
The
you know
Porsche,
that originally
that's sewing
they started with sewing machines.
There you
It is the same company.
Yeah.
It's like a brother.
Oh,
They do sewing machines and printers and whatever. What's cool about this sewing machine, if you know about sewing machines, is that the transport mechanism is walking foot. So you know how the needle goes down, and when it goes down inside the foot, the needle moves together with the foot. because there's some sewing machines, or most of the sewing machines, the needle doesn't move back and forth. It just goes up and down. And what moves is the teeth underneath. They move the material. But because the teeth are underneath and they apply more tension to the material that's on the bottom, and you have 2 layers of material usually, right? At least 2 when you're stitching. So what happens is you have 2 pieces of the same length of material, and you line them up in the beginning together, you start stitching, and then all of a sudden at the end your top piece is longer than the bottom one. And that happens because the teeth underneath on the transport mechanism, they're moving more the bottom material than the top one. So that's why for heavy duty you have the needle transport, which is the needle goes inside, puts the 2 pieces of material together, moves them together, and then it goes out, then it moves, goes in again, and it moves the 2 pieces. In this way you don't have any slippage between the 2 layers of material. So I looked specifically for this type of machine.
What happens when I sew my 2 fingers together?
They stay together forever.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's about the machine. Let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright, we're gonna start with the transmission cover, and since this is a pattern that I took from another carpet, I want to make sure that it fits well. And you might wonder why it needs to be in 2 pieces. Well, the thing is, it's not flat piece. When it is completed, we need more here because of this curve. It happens that we have a transmission cover here, so you see how it is, like the 2 sides are pretty much parallel, but then it becomes a cone here, like a bell housing, you know. So we need a slice right here that allows this piece to open. That's why we have this cut in the middle, and you see these 2 lines get stitched together, but they are different shape. If you put these together like this to match them, now you see how you have more material here that goes around the housing, and I think it needs to be even more, but we can test it on the actual transmission cover. So if we make this line match here, it is actually pretty much what we want, and then this matches here. Okay, so this pattern is good. Let's cut our pieces, join them, and do binding on. I think it needs binding only on both sides. Like binding, I mean finishing. It needs to be a finished edge here and here. These sides are rough because the pieces that come the floor comes here and overlaps it. So we're only gonna do binding here, and this is where we're gonna join them. Alright, so I cut out my patterns, and I made patterns also for the pieces that I was missing. Pretty rough, but I know what they need to look like anyways. And this is for under the seat, for example, with the cutout for the wheel well. This is not finalized yet, but I'm gonna finish that later. Trans cover, the front or the rear piece, actually the one that sticks between the 2 seats, and the floors. So the floors are final shapes. I put these inside. As you can see here, I had to extend this one because it wasn't matching perfectly, but now I have everything. So now that I have everything, including this one actually for the seal, the inner seal. So now that I have everything, I can go. These are drawings that I made, very rough drawings again, to calculate how much carpet we needed to buy. And I made 2 different drawings. One is for 58 width carpet. I didn't know what width of carpet we were gonna find. The other one was for 88 inches. And our carpet turns out to be 8 feet. So 8 feet is 72 inches. So it's a little bit narrower than this. Well, let's see how we're gonna lay it out now. We should be able to. All right, we almost didn't make it. It was pretty tight here. I had to play for probably 10 minutes here to arrange the patterns better so I can fit them, because like I said, I was calculating on 88 inches and now it is 72 2 inches wide. So I added a little bit to what I needed, but not much. Anyways, that's how it's gonna be. So I left that space for one more of these, right? So we have 2 floors, so we already have them there. And this is the other piece that needs a mirror image, so that's gonna flip around. It fits there, I tried. And the seal piece, we have one there, the other one is gonna fit right here. And this piece here that is left, that's for the boot. So David wanted carpet for the boot. That's 44 by 21 approximately. So we have everything. So I'm just gonna mark everything now, and I'm gonna cut it, and then finally we're gonna start sewing. Okay, everything is cut. This made sure that they are mirror image to each other, and the floors and all that, everything is cut. So it's time to start the binding. For the binding, we have the piece of vinyl here. Now we have to cut 2-inch strips or something like that. So we're gonna do that quickly, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the binding. Hey, give it. Sorry. All right, so we have the first piece ready. And I didn't show you how I did it because I just wanted to practice on one, because I haven't done that in a long time. I wanted to make sure that I could do it again still. And I did the corners. Like the carpet that you buy normally has rounded edges here, but I don't like the rounded edges, and especially in the back they don't look beautiful. That's how I do my edges, so they're square, and I'll show you how I do that. So I cut these strips here of approximately 1.5 or 2 inches. Yeah, that's about 1.5 inches. Doesn't really matter how much it is, as long as it's not less than that. And because then some of it gets cut at the end. So let's do, which piece we said? We're gonna do this one because it doesn't have corners. So this one needs to be bound this side, and the big curve around the hump on the hump for the differential. So let me show you that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch it like this, then we're gonna flip it around, and we're gonna stitch it like this. So that's the idea. So the width of our stitch here is what determines how wide the binding is gonna be. The closer to the edge we stitch it, the tinier it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that. But I normally stitch it to about 3/8, something like that. You can put something to limit you here or whatever, but I just go with the flow and I eyeball it. So that's how wide I'm gonna put it. Something like that. We're gonna try to keep it consistent, of course. Like I said, this is a straight line, so we don't need to do a corner. I'm showing you guys so you can do it yourself or tell your wife to make your own carpet. So once it is stitched here, it needs to wrap around like this, and it needs to be tight, like tight around the corner here, around the edge of the material. That's why we needed to have a consistent width. And now we're gonna stitch right, we're gonna put the stitch right inside the old one, so it's not seen. It's gonna be seen from underneath, but not on this side, you know, because if we put it on top of the vinyl, it's gonna be seen through the vinyl. But like this, you can't even see it because it sinks inside the gap. And that's it. Just keep pulling it nice and tight around the edge and keep stitching. There you go. And just like that, one side is ready. So now we can flip it around and we can cut this excess here. So that's why I told you it doesn't matter how wide this is. but at least 1.5 inches I believe it needs to be. Come on, stupid scissors. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this piece on my own, and then we're gonna go to a little bit more advanced where I'm gonna show you how to do the corner. All right, the other side is done as well. I don't know which one was which, but both sides are done, and the curve around the hump. So this one is ready. So let's do some corners. Let's do this one. Now for this one though, my strips that I cut are a little bit short, so we're gonna have to extend them. And we're gonna have to have a stitch, but if we just join them like this and then flip them around, now we have extra material underneath here, right? All this material. And now when we flip it once and then one more time to stitch it, now we have way too much material here. And we don't want to have so much material in one place. That's why we're not gonna join them like this. We're gonna join them on 45 degrees. So that's how we're gonna put them together. Then we're gonna stitch them like this. Now we're gonna cut this away. And now our stitch is 45 degrees. So now when we fold it, this material ends up in different places, so it doesn't pile up. And on top of it, we're gonna also spread it like that, so it doesn't add up so much. So let's start now. So again, the same thing, consistent allowance everywhere. Now when we get to the corner, we can estimate where the bottom is. We can just imagine where the line needs to end. This is where my material underneath ends, right? So I have to finish before there. So normally you would stop here and now you would turn and go that way. But then the allowance, the material here, it's gonna be too short to be wrapped around. I don't know if you can imagine, but now if you do this material is not enough to go around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn here 45 degree and we're gonna go against the corner and we're gonna come off completely. Oops, just cut my thread. So now when we go in this direction, what we can do is pull it like this to match this line, and then fold it down and then start again. And now we can keep going. Now this way we have a lot more material here to deal with at the end. Now here we will do the same thing. 45 towards the corner. Come off. Pull this way, and like this, and then pull this way. And now you have this material here, you see? That's extra. When we get here to the joint, I'm gonna have to spread it open, like I said earlier, like this. Oh no, I didn't calculate it. I needed enough to go over the edge here. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna have to extend my material here because it's not enough. Whew. I'm so upset about that. Now I can continue. Now here is the fun part. To finish this, I'm gonna have to wrap this around, right? And then this one, we're gonna cut it a little bit longer. So you see where it ends, I cut it a little bit longer. So this one we're gonna keep tight. And this one we're gonna wrap around as well, like this. And now we can finish it. So now this one is finished and this one is gonna wrap like this, and that's what our corner is gonna look like. So that's where we're gonna start now to go around. And this is already familiar for you, so I'm not gonna explain it. So now here we have to again pull one, pull the other, and just make the turn. And there you go, have nice corner. Okay, so we go to the stitch here, where the join. So now I have to make sure that the two seam allowances in the back are open. It's hard to do. And then pull. See how nice it finishes here. There's no bulk, there's no lots of material there. So that's it. Now we just need to flip it around, cut the seam allowance because you see it's too long here, but we're gonna shorten it, and the other side is done. Okay, so finally let's join these two pieces, which I said they're not the same shape. So for this reason we're gonna fold them in half, both of them, and we're gonna make a really small notch here at the center so we can match them. I can see it here, so I'm gonna fold this one as well. This way we have a guide. So when we start, we're gonna line them up, we're gonna line up the center, and then we're gonna line up the other end. So we're gonna make really small seam allowance. We don't need a huge one. So we're gonna line them up perfectly here. Okay, now I'm gonna match my centers, and I'm gonna make sure that it lines up here. Yep, my centers match. That's good. And that's it. So you see now, it looks like it's flat piece, but it's not. this has more allowance here. Maybe I should stitch this open. Yeah, it's gonna be underneath, nobody's gonna see it, but that's gonna make it stay flatter, you know. So I'm gonna just make a small stitch here just to keep it open. And the other side as well. Okay, that's better. That makes it stay flatter, you know. See, I stitched it on each side a little bit, but you can't see it. Alright, so I'm gonna do the rest of the binding myself, I guess, and I'm gonna bring you, there's one more thing that we need to do, and that's the vinyl on the inner seals. I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Alright, it's a few hours later. I stopped for dinner and David is gone. It's almost dark outside now, but I have a few more pieces done here. So you can see how this fits nicely here around. So we have this piece underneath, which is just no binding, nothing, but then this has nice binding around the hump. This one is pretty good here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we should move this one back too, because that one I moved back to match that curve and now it's too long. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it a little bit, because it is too long in the front as well. It needs to be just a little bit in front of the bolts for the seats, but it goes, yeah, it can, so it is fine. You see how much they overlap here with the left, with the other piece. So I can easily move it a little bit backwards and shorten it. I think I should shorten it here so this curve matches nicely here, even though this needs to fit underneath. Yeah, we will see. Like, this vinyl is not great, that's why it sits like that. That one fits better a little bit. Anyway, and then this I made. This was a pain to make. It's hard to do the wrap, but fits well. And then this here, let me turn on the light. Okay. Then this here fits well. And the only problem is, as you can notice here, not this. This goes down there easily, like it needs to go over the, okay, like that. But I'm forgetting about that piece there. I totally forgot about it, and I don't have material for it. But I was thinking, okay, I can make something, I can make it work, I can join a few pieces. But then I realized that I'm also forgetting this one. So unfortunately we're gonna have to sacrifice our trunk piece. Like, this piece was for the boot, so we're gonna have to sacrifice it. And if David really wants it for the boot, we're gonna have to buy, I guess, 2 more feet. That's 21, so we need 2 more feet of this carpet. They sell it per foot, so it's gonna work. So yeah, now the only thing is now for the other floor here. That's the passenger side. We're gonna need to make a cut here for the handbrake, which is gonna look something like that. So David bought this specifically for TR4. So you see it has this here. So pretty much the same thing we're gonna need to make with that. We're gonna make that piece, and we have this transmission cover out. So we're gonna use this to make that piece that goes around it, and that's it. But it is, what is it, 8:30, and I need to go in and finish a video so I can post it in the morning. Not this one, something else. It's about Miata, I guess. So anyways, I think we're making good progress, but we're gonna finish tomorrow because we have a few adjustments to make. But I think it looks good, doesn't it? And of course, it's not gonna be just like this on the floor. There's gonna be under padding something. David is gonna do that while I'm on vacation. So we're gonna leave it for now like this. And yes, I do have these two pieces for the kick panels in the wheel wells there, right? In the foot wells. So these are not shaped yet, but I have the material for this. I'm not forgetting them. And of course I have the seals. These are the inner seals that I'm gonna show you tomorrow what we're gonna do with. All right, next day. So let's do the seal carpet now. So the seal carpet is very simple. It is 5 inches and it goes like that, right? And it is 48, I believe, long or something like that. Actually, that's a little bit too long. I'm gonna shorten it. So that's how it goes. However, it's gonna be glued, and here in the front we don't really care how it is finished, because there's the kick panel on the side that comes and covers it. But here, specifically for TR4, I don't think there's anything that goes around this gusset. For TR6 there's a trim that comes here and covers this gusset. For TR4 I don't think there is. So we should think how to finish this piece as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it with this shape a little bit here to go around this bar. Like that. And we're gonna do binding. And here we're gonna attach from this point to this point. We're gonna attach a piece of vinyl to go and wrap around this lip all the way to the other side, and then on top the weather stripping is gonna cover it. And so we're just gonna do, that's not original, but that's how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna do this part first. Okay, and now we can put our piece here, which I don't know if this is gonna be long enough. Yeah, that's gonna be long enough. I mean wide enough. It should be. So where did I make the notch? Right here. So from here to here. Okay, let's see what it's gonna look like in the car. Okay, so it's gonna be glued down like this, and then this part is gonna be wrapped like this around the lip, and then the weather stripping is gonna come on top, and this here is gonna be nicely finished. Actually, this comes here. Yep, this is gonna be nicely finished here. For the front, we don't care. Okay. All right, so the interior is all done except the two kick panels. So for this, like I said, I have these pieces here I kept, but I'm gonna do that some other time because I'm in a hurry now. I'm getting ready to go on vacation tomorrow. Yay, fun! But I wanted to get the interior ready so Cheftush can actually put the underpad while I'm gone and just install the carpet, and then he can put on the seats, the dash support, and just basically start finishing the car. So that's great. So anyway, I added that piece there, and I made this one as well. So you see how it finishes it nicely here, finishes it nicely here. So yeah, that's it. Oh, I wanted to show you the other side as well. So here we made this like a ring around the e-brake, and that's how it's gonna be. So that's everything. I think I'm gonna put an end to this video here because I'm in a hurry and I need to go get ready. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for commenting, subscribing, sharing, and supporting the channel. And I hope to see you soon. stay tuned for David's video, or maybe you're gonna see it before this one, about him installing the carpet and basically finishing the interior of this car. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.